Good morning, everyone. This is Financial Literacy 101. Today, we'll be talking about Murata Manufacturing. That's Murata Manufacturing, okay? So this is a company that has been doing quite well. As I'm looking at Robinhood right now, it's slightly down, but nonetheless, we're going to go over this stock. I think this could be a really, really good stock. And it's not a very popular stock, and I keep telling people, there's a lot of volatility with a lot of the popular stocks, and the two that I've always come out with and made some really good money from is Plug Power and Neo. But we have to look into broaden our portfolios into stocks that are not popular, because here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen, when Amazon first came out, was not popular. When Tesla came out, that was slightly popular because people were buying electric cars. And it was kind of a new wave of certain things. But a lot of these companies, when Plug Power was $2 and $3 a share, it was not popular. We understand that stocks like Powell Technologies, okay, Pilotar or Pilanton or whatever how you pronounce it. Nonetheless, when these first came out, that was very, very popular, and I'm still making good money off that as well. But another stock I came out with an IPO called Phantom. Phantom is doing primarily well. They're not doing too bad, but I'm making a small profit off of that. But here's another stock that I'm going to show you guys that I believe you can make some decent money from. Okay, so let's get into the stock review. Let's see how we can all make some good money off of this one, okay? So here's Murata Manufacturing over the past 5 years. It's been up 89%, almost 90% roughly. The past year has been up 44%. The past 3 months, 38%. The past month, about 5%. The past week, 7.5%. And then today, as you know, it is slightly down nonetheless, okay? So let's see what this stock is really about. And again, it's nothing popular. It's nothing that you guys may understand in a sense of technology, but they're kind of the people, you know how you fall in love with people who do stage plays or comedians or entertainers, you know, whether it be Denzel Washington or Tom Cruise, you guys are loving the action film. But who are the people who are producing it? Who are the people who are directing? Who are the people who are filming it? This is what I like about companies like this, because they're the people who make the money in the background. But this is where the investment, because a lot of times when you go out to a rap concert or an R&B concert, believe it or not, a lot of the producers and production and the managers, they get paid more money than the artists, because they're the one who's setting it all up. Okay, they're the one who's marketing and advertising. So in the sense of technology, you have Murata Manufacturing, and I'm going to read quite a bit of this so you understand the sectors and the industries that this particular stock actually falls into. It says, it engages in research, production, and sale of electronic devices made from fine symmetrics. It operates through the following segments: components, modules, and others. The components division offers multi-layer symmetric capacitors, SAW, surface acoustic wave, filters, symmetric resonators, piezoelectronic sensors, symmetric filters, piezoelectric buzzers, short-range wireless communication modules. You're like, yeah, a bunch of this, you know, chipsets and little modules and pieces and capacitors. All of these things fall in where? Almost anything electronic: speakers, laptops, microphones, desktop computers, cell phones, you name it, tablets, anything essentially electronic with a display, and not even with the display, with an audio sense of technology that's embedded inside that device. It has a lot of these components. Okay, let me read on. It says it has the short range wireless communication modules, Bluetooth modules, and others. And anything that's Bluetooth got to have a what? A Bluetooth module. The module segment provides communication modules. The power supplies multi-layered symmetric devices. And here's another thing. Symmetric materials can still operate under intense heat. Now, for anybody who's familiar with grills, like take a green egg or take a Kamada, these are very expensive, very well-known grills for whether you want to smoke or you just want to grill or you want to cook a pizza or you can cook a fish. You can do all this in this particular grill. And the insides of these grills are made out of symmetric that can actually get up to 600-700 degrees without breaking down, without melting. So symmetric can induce, essentially can hold a lot of heat without degrading, without degrading its infrastructure of the material of the shape that it's built in. Nonetheless, I digress. So you have connectors, isolated circuit modules, electromagnetic interference, suppression filters, inductors, sensors, and lithium-ion batteries. We know that has been the wave of the future. When we talk about lithium-ion batteries, that goes in absolutely everything. It goes into your cell phone. It goes into your electric car. It goes in pretty much anything that's cordless. If you buy a cordless speaker, whether it be Sonos speakers, lithium-ion batteries, even myself, when I go out and I buy like AA, AAA batteries, I always buy the lithium batteries because they last a lot longer, especially in my smart house. I'm putting inside the door slage, so I don't have to keep changing them out every 2 or 3 months. They'll last 6 months to a year, depending on the usage. Okay. The other segments handle the employee welfare, staffing, education, and training, and facility maintenance service, including operational software for affiliates. The company was founded by Akira Murata in October 1944 and is headquartered in Nagoya Kakiyo, Japan. I'm trying here, guys. I'm trying. It says, listen on the pink current market. The OTC market data is provided by OTC Markets Group. Okay, so here it is, ladies and gentlemen. No CEO listed for whatever reason, but it has roughly over 74,000 employees. Founded in 1944. So they've been doing big business. And matter of fact, by honorable mention, they have been doing business with a lot of Samsung products. So essentially, Samsung is not making everything. There, you got the Samsung Galaxy phone. If you ever been to Korea, you got Samsung microwave, Samsung TVs, Samsung cars. Yes, you got the SMG6, the SM8. So they even make vehicles in Samsung in Korea. So essentially, Samsung and Hyundai in Korea is life. So the 3 large corporations that I know of that's in Korea, because I've been there a couple of times, is LG, Samsung, and Hyundai. They make everything from cell phones to cars, okay? This to kind of give you a bigger picture. Now, I don't know why Robinhood doesn't list their dividends, but they do have some dividends, and we'll get into that, okay? So here are some other companies that, quote unquote, is in the market. I can see Plug Power, Nokia, and I can see Ericsson, but not Marvel, so to speak, okay? Let's move on to Market Watch, okay? Now, Market Watch will give us a good indication of the performance here. We're right here on the performance. Let's go back out to a month. Not doing so well at 4%, but the last 3 months, we're looking at 41% roughly. We're going to round up here. We got year-to-date 45.5%. That's not bad. That's pretty good returns, especially when you come in a price point at $22. And we're going to get on the timeline. This will show you a reference point here. We'll go back 5 years. Okay, we go back 5 years, and I'll show you the price of the stock. So think of it like this, and this is why I tell investors, if you really want to make great money over the long term, then you have to think about long-term investments. If you want to make quick money but solid investment, that's when you start dealing with option trading. Long-term, hold on to these stocks. They double, they triple over anywhere from a 5-10 year span. But if you want to make quick money, but within the next 3 to 6 months, that's more so option trading. When you're looking at companies to invest, a company that's been around since 1944, and they're building capacitors and modules and transistors and filters and all of these things for electronics, then this is one of the companies you should be really, really looking at, okay? So we got Murata Manufacturing back in, 2016. That was at $12. And look, ladies and gentlemen, today, they're roughly up almost double their price. But again, you see how long it took them to get there. That's because this is a solid company that's going to take its time to make its money, okay? So back on here, we're looking at EPS. This is a company that's operating out of profit because we understand that EPS means earning per share. And then they also have some measly dividends, but some of you guys like dividends. So there it is for you guys who like it. They actually sent out their dividends on September 28th. So dividends are usually sent out anywhere, depending on the company, from 3 to 4 months. Okay, 3 to 4 months. And the rating on MarketWatch is a buy. I'm pretty sure this, thinking about how Zacks operate, when we go to the Zack analyst page to see, and we're going to strong buy, hold, or sell, or strong sell, I'm pretty sure it's going to be anywhere from a buy to a hold because they kind of run relative in conjunction with each other. Okay, let's move on to Yahoo Finance. And I just like showing this graphic representation of this particular stock because I love the way that I see the trajectory of stocks go up and try to figure out some of these large dips. Okay, so back in 2015, June 1st, this stock was up to $14.59. Okay, then it dropped down within a year time frame. What, $5? Okay. That, sometimes just for fun, I like to go in like what happened back to Murata Manufacturing back in 2016 in June timeframe, and you can get a lot of relevant information to help you to understand with that company, with that corporation, any sort of leadership changes that had occurred. They was in any scandals or anything like that. Okay. But nonetheless, you're going to see this most likely with any company. But what I do like to see is the progression and the incline of them doing good business over time, okay? Because again, look at it like this. April 1st, 2018, they dropped down to $10. So you look back here, and this is for fun, right? They dropped from 2015, June 1st, they was at $14.50. Then June 2016, they dropped down to $9.30. And then you go 2 more years, April 1st, 2018, they dropped down to $10. And some people I know sell, because there's a lot of volatility. They keep dropping and dropping over the time frame. Now, here we are from, listen to this, from April to July 2018, they went back up to $14. So that means they're really doing a lot of contracts, a lot of business. They're probably acquiring some companies, so on and so forth. So with that being said, let's go back to 2016. 2016, right? So they were here, then 2016, they dropped down. What occurred in between this time frame to raise this stock back up within 2 years? Okay, this is what I like to research sometimes because this is great information. This is great information. So to show you guys this, let me move this over. Okay, to show you guys this, look at this. So back in 2016, it says Murata and Sony Corporation today announced that they have signed a binding definitive agreement to transfer the Sony's Group battery business to the Murata Group in October 31st, 2016. Okay, that's relative, okay? Because when we go back, we see the deals that they made in 2016, and then here it is in 2018, they go up to $14. Because we understand it takes time to start generate that business, transfer over the previous business from Sony, and start generating some revenue. Because essentially, when most business start off, even my business, even most people's businesses, you are operating at a loss. And that's why there's a huge incentive for you guys to get tax write-off within the first 3 years of your business. Most people think it's 2, but it's actually 3 years. You can do huge write-off because you're generating your business. You're buying materials, you're buying products, you're trying to get certain services, you're building websites, etc. You can write all of these things off, okay? So let me progress here. So 2019, they went down to $10.36, and then boom, that same year they went back up to 15. Now today, ladies and gentlemen, this stock is worth $22.58. Okay, so let's look at some other things that I believe before we get to Zacks is very pertinent. Look at this. Murata appears to be a manufacturer components for a variety of devices such as mobile phones. I told you they have contracts with Samsung. You can always lock out access to the device through your router and see which your devices loses to make the Wi-Fi for your smartphones, especially of the Samsung Galaxy variety. And they're still doing that today, okay? And who owns Murata? Murata owns Murata. And then they tell you the acquisition of a semiconductor corporation. So they're also acquiring a lot of companies as well. That's very pertinent. Now, as we move over to Zacks, we're looking at the price point right here. And I told you, there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Zacks is at a 3% hold. But I like the style scores down here. The style scores are very pertinent to me. And sometimes I don't agree with Zacks. Okay, we just have our differences when it comes to this. But when you're looking at these scores, it says the value is C, the growth is B, the momentum is B. The overall VGM score is a B. I agree with the overall VGM score being a B, but I also think the value is a B. Because again, this is a long-term stock that you guys can make some really good money on, that I don't think they're really stretching a point on this one, right? Because when we look at the price point of this particular stock, Murata Manufacturing, is not a very popular stock. And ladies and gentlemen, some of the big mogul stocks that we see that has the trajectory, when Zoom first came out, it wasn't very popular. So a lot of these stocks was not popular when it first came out or when you first heard of it. Because when you think about stocks, okay, when you think about stocks like Plug Power, it wasn't very popular at first. It was not very popular at first, okay? But over time, Plug Power is what? I invested in Plug Power when it was $3. So let me look at my portfolio very quickly. But again, you're going to see that my price point actually changed, okay? You're going to see it change because over the course of time, as you exercise dollar cost averaging, that's DCA, the estimate amount that you start to invest is going to rise because you're buying that stock at a higher price point. So if we go to Plug Power, you see that I made a profit of $2,100. But look at Plug Power right now. And because I've been investing so much over the course of time, because I have 125 shares, you see that my average cost rose up to $16.72 because I bought maybe 20 shares when it was $3, 20 shares when it was $9, 20 shares when it was $11, 20 shares when it was $15. 20 shares when it was $25. So the average cost, because you have to do those averages, okay, in order to get that price point of what the average cost, no matter if I bought a certain number at $3 or I bought a certain number at $30, nonetheless, my average cost of a share is $16 because I bought in at a higher margin. But nonetheless, when I'm looking at this, regardless of where I bought at, I'm up over 100%. That means a dollar for dollar investment. And if anybody's ever seen this channel, if you've ever been a part of this channel, you know that my ceiling, my threshold where I want to reach is 20%. It's 20% because most likely when you're investing, the stock market has always done an average return of around 10%. But when you minus that percent of inflation, anywhere from 2% to 3%, you're roughly getting only 7% return. So if you can double the amount that the stock market is actually its historic price points, then you're doing absolutely well, ladies and gentlemen, because even with that 20%, if you subtract 3%, you're still doing 17%. Now, granted, if you're doing 101%, 100%, you're getting a dollar for dollar investment. I like to make a very, very plain and simple analogy. Take, for instance, someone say, hey, give me $10,000 in January. I'm going to give you $10,000, which the total price, a total amount of $20,000 in December. I think most of us will actually do that. I think so. Dollar for dollar investment. I think that most of us will absolutely do that. Okay. So with that being said, do I believe that this is a good buy? I believe that this is a good buy, ladies and gentlemen. I believe that this is a 2 to 3 flame rating. I'm gonna make sure I put that in the title, that this is a 2 to 3 flame rating. Okay. Good morning, Lady Luck, and everybody who's joining me from different platforms. So hopefully that I gave you enough encouragement that consider this particular stock in your portfolio, because I believe that you, over the course of time, can make some really good money from this stock. This is Financial Literacy 101. Learn money and be inspired. And hey, There's always people behind the scene making sure that the show goes on and that you guys are always being entertained. Murata Manufacturing, they're behind the transistors, capacitors, and modules